Here we are again with another late night edition of Sundry News. This is for Thursday, July 23rd, even though it is now after midnight, yes, but here we go anyway. Beginning with the Daily Wire. Woman shot dead after following community leader's advice to settle disputes with rioters without police. And I had talked about this a couple of days ago when there was an article about it on the Daily Yahoo. The Daily Yahoo failed to include the fact that she was following said advice. And when I looked up more information on it that night, I did find that little bit of it, the little detail, but nothing that I looked at then included quite so much detail as this one does. Suffice it to say, this dude was definitely, this community leader, this president of the Brooklyn borough, definitely was trying to exclude the police. You know, definitely was trying to convince people that they don't need the police, when in actuality, clearly, you do. Okay, so for one thing, setting off fireworks illegally is not necessarily a non-violent thing, because fireworks are dangerous. Fireworks can be very violent. That's what I'm saying about that. Moving on. As U.S.-China relations disintegrate, top Democrat Nancy Pelosi declares it is the Trump virus. Why is she still in office? Who are these numbskulls that keep voting for that? Patricia McCloskey's gun, inoperable when taken by police, was reassembled later to make it lethal, report says. What? I thought they never were able to take her gun because her lawyer had her gun when they came to get the guy's gun. U.S. forces closure of Chinese consulate in Houston. Video shows classified documents being burned inside. It's always interesting when people feel the need to destroy their documents. Pfizer. Breaking. Trump admin secures up to 600 million coronavirus vaccine doses with Pfizer free to Americans. Well, all y'all go out there and get your vaccines. I'll be sitting right here and watching what happens. There's some ads. Lovely ads. Always the same ads. Next up, the Daily Yahoo. Teen who created petition calling out, of course it was a fucking teenager, calling out Trader Joe's racist ethnic food labels, says of course it was a female teenager, says she's glad she's opening up dialogue. The Trader Joe's branding is racist because it exoticizes other cultures. It presents Joe as the default normal, and the other characters falling outside of it, wrote Brianese Bedell. Oh my goodness. Okay. I need to know if that's actually how it is, or if that's just all made up in this chick's head. A California teenager is making waves with her petition asking for the removal of racially insensitive packaging at Trader Joe's. You know what? Every place, everywhere is exotic to somebody else. Just gonna say. 17 of San Francisco created a Change.org petition in early July calling for the grocery store chain to change how it labels its ethnic foods. Bedell names Trader Ming's, the store's Chinese food line, Arabian Joe, its Middle Eastern food line, and Trader Jose's, its Mexican food line, as some examples of the racist branding and packaging in stores. Okay. Trader Ming's Arabian Joe, Trader Jose. I just... How does she just want it to be Trader Joe's Chinese, Trader Joe's Arabian, or Trader Joe's Middle Eastern, Trader Joe's Mexican? That would sound like cultural appropriation. The Trader Joe's branding is racist because it exoticizes other cultures. It presents Joe as the default normal, and the other characters falling outside of it. They are Arabian Joe, Trader Jose, and Trader Joe-san, Bedell's petition reads in part. Oh my goodness. You're in America. So here, Joe would be the normal one. The average American Joe. As of Wednesday, the petition has more than 3,800 signatures. Bedell tells Yahoo Life that she is surprised by the amount of attention it has received. I'm absolutely floored by the national media attention and impressed by the response. I'm glad this is on people's radars, she says. I've also gotten a lot of negative reactions, hate mail, but I'm glad I'm opening up dialogue. Bedell says she was inspired to create the petition after taking a class focused on human rights. Of course. It was a fucking class, which she credits as making her more aware of the cultural insensitivities around her, including at her local Trader Joe's store. I used to shop at Trader Joe's a fair amount, and all of a sudden I noticed the branding on their ethnic foods, she explains. When any community is not allowed the control of the representation, it leads the way for stereotypes and caricatures. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How does she know that none of these communities have had any control over the representation? You know, communities caricature themselves, like, all the time. The activist also had a problem with what influenced Trader Joe's founder, Joe Coulombe, to create the store. According to the company's website, Coulombe was inspired by the book White Shadows in the South Seas, along with the Disneyland Jungle Cruise ride. The first store, which opened in 1967 in Pasadena, California, had a nautical theme, and it was run by people who were described as traders on the high seas, the website says. Okay. Bedell argues White Shadows in the South Seas is racist, noting in her petition that the work demonstrates the horrific legacy of trading companies as they exploited and enslaved the South Pacific in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It perpetuates the myth of the white god and noble savage stereotype, but it also depicts trading companies and their ravaging of the South Seas in the early 20th century, she tells Yahoo Life, and I think it's problematic to list that as an inspiration for a grocery store. In addition, there is the Disneyland ride that depicts native people as savages. These two sources paired together, along with the insensitive branding, presents this questionable image of Trader Joe's as a brand. This is so insufferable. Problematic. The historical reality of the trade routes on the high seas as inspiration for a grocery store where the same sort of things that were being traded are sold now is problematic. Oh, and the native people depicted as savages. It's just... everybody sees other people as savages. What I'm saying is, to everybody, there are some other people who are savage. Bedell says that she is surprised that she has not yet heard from Trader Joe's since creating the petition. Good. Stay out of it, Trader Joe's. Stay far, far away from that. Yahoo Life reached out to Trader Joe's for comment and has not yet received a response. The company issued a statement to the New York Times acknowledging that the ethnic names were rooted in a light-hearted attempt at inclusiveness, but that they recognize that it may now have the opposite effect. Yeah, because all your customers are super racist now. One that is contrary to the welcoming, rewarding customer experience we strive to create every day. Stop acknowledging. Just don't. Don't give any relevance. Don't give any credence to this shit. Just don't. Recognize that now, it may now have the opposite effect. Yes. Like I just said, that's because all of your customers and whoever looks at this fucking petition and signs it, they're all so much more racist than they used to be. They also went on to say that several years ago they decided to no longer use the names moving forward. Several years ago. Bedell noted that the company gave a similar statement to Nylon in 2019, but she's not satisfied with Trader Joe's response thus far. They lack the urgency needed to remedy a controversy like this one in the current climate, she says. These labels are microaggressions, and the issue with microaggressions is that they inevitably escalate, and when we accept this baseline level of racism, it leads to larger transgressions down the road. Several years ago, they decided to no longer use the names. Is she certain that the names are in use in the store right now? Bedell says she hopes to continue to get more signatures and that Trader Joe's commits to a date when it will phase out the problematic packaging. If they cannot, it should then remove the products in question altogether. Oh, I'm sure. I hate this fucking shit. Portland protests. Chad Wolf says federal forces will not retreat and rejects anger at stormtroopers. Stormtroopers. Acting Homeland Security Chief Chad Wolf said yesterday that federal law enforcement officers in Portland will not retreat. Yeah, because they're just defending their fucking buildings. The federal buildings. Even as criticism of their deployment rose to a new pitch and protesters flooded the streets in increasing numbers. Mr. Wolf spoke just as a leaked Homeland Security did something. And recently, I believe it was in Portland, the mayor of Portland came out and was with the rioters participating. Super professional. Safety Jamal Adams calls out Jets team owner Woody Johnson after allegations of racist comments. Jamal Adams wants change within the Jets because of allegations. She went missing in '96. Now the case is solved. A podcast pointed on new leads in Kristen Smart's missing case. The cops reopened the investigation. From Fresh Edits. Washington Post editorial board puts Senate GOP on notice over coronavirus relief. The GOP is out of time, the newspaper's board warned in its latest op-ed. Because it's the right that has been difficult over all of this. Sure. Nepal's refiners struggle as India stops refined palm oil imports. Edible oil refiners in Nepal have all but stopped buying crude palm oil amid surging domestic stockpiles after top buyer India suspended most imports of refined oil from the country, industry officials told Reuters. New Delhi in May suspended 39 oil import licenses. That's not how you spell that. Biden claims Trump is the first racist president. From HuffPost, former Vice President Joe Biden said that President Trump is the first racist person to be elected to the Oval Office. He's wrong. Oh, HuffPost, tell us all about it. No, not really. I'm not clicking on that. Unleash the power of your computer. Get rid of the clutter that's slowing your computer down. Clean up and speed up your PC for free with System Mechanic from Yahoo. But there's an asterisk by free, so I'm guessing it's not actually free. What's hot? Oh, it's Yahoo Search. Trending now, MLB opening day. Sofia Vergara. Coronavirus, always at number 3. Everything else can change, but coronavirus has to stay right there at number 3. That is completely believable. TikTok. Again, TikTok with the C's instead of the K's. AARP Insurance. Itchy Dog Treatments. Christina Vidal. Larsa Pippen. Michael Douglas. Truck seat covers. Okay, goodbye Yahoo.